Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully, you guys are having a lovely Labor Day. Hopefully, it was relaxing. Maybe you saw me earlier, you're just like, you're back on again? Yeah, of course. Why not? Every time I have an appointment, all of a sudden people are canceling, so I said, screw it. Let me just come on a little bit early. Now, as I was noticing, it seems to me that a lot of people are really struggling with fractions. Now, I'm going to be truthful with everyone. Fractions is just another way of dividing. Okay? That was said to me many, many moons ago, and it opened up my mind. But if you don't understand your multiplication, it's going to be hard for you to do fractions. It's going to be hard for you to do percentages. It's going to be hard for you to solve one-step, two-step, three-step, multi-step equations. It's going to be hard to do trig. It's going to be hard to do Pythagorean theorem. It's going to be hard to do almost every single aspect of math possible. So, if we need to do anything, one, do something for yourself to understand your multiplication facts. If you have to do flashcards, old school it, that's what you need to do. There are definitely a lot of online things that will show you how to do all these things. With the multiplication, there are games, there are rules, there are everything. So if you struggle with multiplication, you need to open up your mind to it. It's basically fast addition. It's doing a lot of grouping. Okay, so 6 times 2 and 2 times 6 is the same thing as 12 times 1. Okay, so knowing all of those things at your fingertips, that might be some of the things that might be holding you back from some of the math and also some of the assessments. So what we're going to work on, we're going to be working on different types of fractions, and we're going to do the adding, the subtracting. I'm going to see if we can get to multiplying, but if we can get the adding, subtracting down tonight and feel comfortable with it, then we can move on with multiplying and possibly dividing tomorrow, okay? So, as you guys are coming in, if you go ahead and start tapping, there we go. Hey, how you doing? All right, you're ready, John? Awesome. All right, so we're just going to try to get this down and dirty. So before we get started, as you guys are tapping, let's take a look at what is a fraction. How do we name it? So the top, as some people love to call it, that is called your numerator. Okay, so the first part is your numerator, the bottom part is your denominator. And sometimes, especially when you're looking at geometry, we like to say that the numerator is the part and the denominator is the whole. So if you ever get something like, let's say 3/5, which is a proper fraction, that means the whole entire thing was like 5 of them and there was 3 left. So maybe a situation could be, there was 5 slices of pie. Okay, it's a huge pie, and there was 5 total slices cut up. But I noticed that 3 of them is still there. So that means 2 pieces of those pies was gone. So it's 3 out of the 5 slices. So which can be represented as a fraction. Sometimes it could be represented with the colon, or they might actually say 3 out of 5. Okay? So it's always the part over the whole. All right? Thanks so much for the follows. I appreciate it, guys. Go ahead and keep on tapping. I'm just going to keep on moving. Now, one of the things, especially if we start getting into adding and subtracting of our fractions, we always need a common denominator. So we need to have a number that both denominators have in common with their multiplication table. And that, my friends, is called, let me slide this over and probably lessen it up. It's called your least common multiple. And I'm going to unzoom in a sec so we can see everything in here. All right. It's called your least common multiple. A lot of us know it as our LCM. So a lot of people get least common multiple and greatest common factor completely mixed up each and every time. So because we end with the word multiple, that means we're looking at their multiplication table. So let's say that I want to find, let me give my nice example. If I want to find the LCM of, let's say, 30 and 45. Okay, let's start there. Right away, I know for sure, okay, I know for sure that someone's going to tell me the answer is 5. No. 5 is your greatest common factor. So it's basically when you're looking at the greatest common factor, you're like, okay, what multiplication table do we find 30 and do we find 45? That's what 5 is. That's the greatest common factor. We want to deal with the multiples, okay? We definitely want to deal with the multiples. So with the multiples, oops. Okay. So sorry, guys. Ooh. There we go. Okay. So when we're dealing with the least common multiple, we're looking at their multiplication tables. So when I'm looking at my 30s, so we have 30 times 1 is 30. 30 times 2, 60. 30 times 3, 90. Okay, and this is all with the 30s. Looking at those things, okay? And then we have 120. Now, I want to figure out what is my factors of 45. Okay, so 45 times 1, that's 45. 45 times 2, that gives me 90. Whoa. I could keep going to, what, 135? But look what we have. What is the least, okay, doesn't have to be huge. What is the number that they have in common? Right here, we can see it. The least common multiple is going to be 90. Okay? So this is, oh great, I'm seeing everyone's putting it in there. Good job. Okay? So we have to figure out when they say the least common multiple, we're looking at the multiplication table of each of these. So you're going through the 30 times table, you're looking at the 45 times table, and you're looking at the lowest number that they both have in common. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, because I know for a long time, even myself, I got them confused all the time. And I would still get things wrong because in my brain, it just didn't help. Okay, so because they're using the word multiple, you're doing the multiplication tables. If they say factors, that's when you're looking at, okay, where would I find 30? If I said the GCF of 30, I know 30 is in the 1 times table. It's in the 2 times table. It's in the 3 times table. Okay, it's in the 5 times table. It's in the 10s times table. And I can keep going, right? 15, so forth. And then for the 45, I'm like, all right, well, 45 is in the 1 times table. It's in the 3s. It's in the 5s. Oh, the lowest number that they had in common was the 5 times table. That's your GCF. F is factors. M is multiple. Okay? I think I beat a dead horse right now. Right? Okay. So having that in mind, now we want to be able to get some numbers in common. So let's see. Let's do a little of addition. So we have 7/8 plus 3/4. So right now, I cannot add those two together because they do not have a common denominator. Okay? So now I'm looking for the LCM for the 8 and the 4. So if I'm taking a look, I got my 8 times table and I have my 4 times table. So for the 8s, you got your 8, you got your 16, you got your 24, all right, you got your 32, all right, we'll stop right there. For the 4s, you got your 4, you got your 8, you got your 12, you got your 16, and I'm going to stop right there. Now, what is the least common multiple that they have? Thank you. Okay. So the least common, the lowest number that they have in common is 8. So that's going to be my LCM. That's what I'm going to need for my common denominators to be. Right? Excellent. There we go, guys. Awesome. So this first ratio, we're not doing anything with it, because it already has the 8. But the second one, we need to make some adjustments. So how can I turn this 4 to an 8? I can do it through multiplication. Whatever I do in the denominator, I have to do in the numerator. Okay? So 4 times 2, that's where the 8 comes from. Now we got 3 times 2, that's where the 6 comes from. So now that we have a common denominator, we can go right into this. But this is the part that was getting a couple people earlier. When we have a common denominator, that just gets rewritten for our solution. We don't do anything with the denominator. The operation is going with the numerator. Okay, remember, the numerator is the top. Denominator is the bottom. Okay, so we have 7 plus 6. That gives me my 13. Okay. So by adding those together, we have 13 eighths. So you're probably saying to yourself, well, Audrey, that looks a little top heavy. Yeah, okay? Because our numerator is larger than our denominator. This is what's called an improper fraction, okay? Okay, when the numerator is bigger than the denominator, that's an improper fraction. So now here's the thing. When you solve, always take a look, especially if you're doing the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, even the IBEW test, any kind of testing that deals with math, algebra, right? Always take a look at your answer choices. If you see 13 eighths, that's your answer. Bubble it, click it, move on. But if you start seeing what's called mixed numbers, that means we're going to actually have to divide this to find our answer. So when we take that, I'm going to put it over here, we have 13 divided by 8. So how many eighths? You can use this. How many eighths can go into 13 without going over? Okay, Lauren, it's okay. All right, so Peyton, we got something. Good, we got that. Awesome. So we only have it one time. Thank you. Good. So 1 times 8 gives me 8. Now, 13 minus 8, that will give us what? Okay, thank you. I got kind of scared a little bit. Okay. All right. So 13 minus 8, that gives us 5. Okay. This 5 is a remainder. Now, we are not putting a dot. We're not adding zeros because we're not putting this into a decimal. We're going to keep it as a fraction, but it's called a mixed number. So we have our 1 whole. Okay, we have our 1 whole. Our remainder of 5, and it always goes over what our divisor is. So this is a mixed number. And the reason why they call it a mixed number, because you got a whole number and a fraction. It's a little mixed up. Okay? So the whole entire thing that we need to know, first off, we need to have a common denominator. So we look for our least common multiple to help us with that task. So we look at the 8 times table, we look at the 4 times table. What is the lowest number that they have in common? Which we discovered it was 8. So we didn't have to do anything to this first fraction because it already has an 8 in the denominator. But we had to change that 4 to an 8. And how we did it was through multiplication. 4 times 2 gives me 8. Whatever I multiply in the denominator, I also have to do in the numerator. So 3 times 2 gives me 6. Now, here, you're not going to say 8 plus 8 gives me 16. No. Okay? Once you have a common denominator, it comes over. Okay? You just rewrite it. But the operation is happening with the numerator. So 7 plus 6, that gives us our 13. So when we have that improper fraction, and if they want our answer as a mixed number, actually divide it. So it's 13 divided by 8. Whatever the numerator is, goes in the house. Okay? The denominator stays out. So you ask yourself how many 8s goes in 13? Okay, which gives me 8. This is your remainder, and you always put your remainder over the divisor. Okay, are you exhausted? I know I am. But this is what you have to do to break things down. Okay, you start at the top and draw arrows in order for the mixed numbers consist of. You teach adding fractions with ratio tables and all that. Awesome. Okay. All right, let's. Ooh. Thing just froze for a second. Okay, make sure everybody's here. All right. So let's go with. Let's try this one. We have 7/12. And we have 5/16. Okay, 7/12 plus 5/16. So if you are here and you're trying to get your GED, trying to get your ASVAB, trying to get past that score, because this is like you're right on the cusp. This is like you in the 20s. Okay, remember the minimum for most branches is a 31. And we want to get above that. You know, the higher the score, the more opportunities you're going to get. So we have to think about what is going on. Where were you when I was in school? Probably in the same class. Do the butterfly method. Okay. So all of this. So if anything, we have our 12s and we have our 16s. Okay, we have our 12s and we have our 16s. What would they have in common? You have math tomorrow? Yes. So we need a common denominator. Yes. And Mia's saying 48. Okay. So let's take a look. Especially for those that are just like, yeah, I think I get it. Let me break it down. All right. Again, for those that are like, Audrey, yes, it's 48. This is easy. This is simple. This is baby stuff. Okay. It may be baby for you, but it's not baby for someone else. Think about your exes. Your ex maybe called you baby, but they probably always hated it. So now they're with someone else and they don't want to be called baby. All right. So don't ask me where my mind goes sometimes. All right. So we have our 12. Then we have our 24. We have our 36. Then we have our 48. Okay. So 16 times 2. So we have 16 and 1. 16 and 2 is 32. 16 and 3 is 48. And I can stop right there because I remember seeing a 48. Okay. I could keep going, but why? Why? All right. So in this time, since 48 is my least common multiple, that means I need both denominators to be 48. Okay. So we can think of it. All right. I know 1, 2, 3, 4 12s got me that 48. And 3 16s got me my 48. So in order for me to change this 12 to a 48, I need to multiply it, wrong color pen, by 4. And whatever I do in the denominator, I need to do in the numerator. I know 3 16s got me my 48, so I have to multiply that by 3. Whatever I do in my denominator, I do in my numerator. So now here we go. 4 times 7, that gives me 28. And 5 times 3, that gives me 15. Now that we have a common denominator, boom, we bring over the 48. We do not add them. We just needed it to figure out our common denominator. Now we're going to add them together. So that's 3, that's 43. All right. And my squared is giving me 43 48s. All right. Thank you so much for the hearts and the follows and everything and the participation. I appreciate it. So the numerator is basically smaller than the denominator. This is a proper fraction. So we don't have to do all of that lovely reducing. Okay. Questions? Okay. Hello. How are you? Thank you. You get it? Awesome. Okay. Anybody have any questions? This is the perfect place to ask your questions. Other than, when are we going to use this in real life? Now, you definitely use this. Jesus. Because every live, there's always one. No, I lied. It's not one. There'll be like 5 or 6 people. So when are we going to need this in real life? You use this all the time. Yes. Definitely in nursing. We're trying to keep people alive. Okay? We're not trying to be like Dr. Death or anything like that. We're not doing that. Okay? All right. Thanks. A long time ago. But now you know. Now you know. Now you can feel confident with it. Now you can take this information. General, how are you? You can take this information and apply it. So now you can feel comfortable. So when someone brings you a fraction and they ask you to like, what is it when I add these two together? You won't be like, nope, that's not me. No, it is you. Okay? It is you. We just have to go that. All right? You understand me? I totally get it. Okay? How do I know which is proper and which is improper? Well, when one's not speaking very rude to me. No, I'm just kidding. So improper, the numerator is larger than the denominator. It's a little top heavy. Proper, pretty decent proportion. When the numerator is smaller than the denominator. That's how you can tell the two. Okay. Tillman, how are you? Everyone's coming out. Okay. I try. It's called the insanity in me. Let's try another one. Let me do this. Let me give you another example. And let me see how you do it. Now, if you get it wrong, it's okay. This is not Squid Games. We're not going to kill you off, all right? You're going to live a wonderful and prosperous life. Maybe multiply. Maybe multiply by knowledge, not so much by kids. There's too many kids on this. No, I'm just kidding. So we just got to do all these things. All right? So let's try this one. I'm going to make it a little top heavy. Okay? It's a safe space. We're learning from each other. We're growing. There's nice, easy music playing in the background. All right. So give it a try. Okay, give it a try. Now, what I would love for you to do, you can put your answer in the chat, but do not hit enter. I'm going to tell you when I want you to show your answers. Okay? Hold it. Control yourselves. It's all about control. Okay? Thank you. Hello, hello. Yes, just control yourself. It's all right. Sheldon, control yourself. Okay, you ready? Sheldon's like, I can't hold it any longer. My God. It just cracks me up. It really does. It really does. All right. Okay, I'm going to ask you in about 5 seconds. All right, flash them up. What we got? Well, let's see what our answer is. So Beavis, 135.36. Sheldon, we got the 36. Okay, we got improper fraction of 34/22. Okay. Where's my rest of my answers? Let's see. Let's see what you can do. Okay. Okay, Maya concurs. So proper of you. So demure. Okay, 36 is a common factor. So you're saying 1/1/2. Okay. Okay, Michael's saying 1/45 over 36. And now remember, if you're just like, I tried the first step or I'm still working on the LCM, You could put a question mark. That's perfectly fine because we're going to go over it anyway, okay? So if you're unsure, you can do that as well. Okay, so Sheldon is saying 145.36 or 4 and 136. Okay, thank you, Disenchanted. I appreciate your honesty. Okay, we will be going over it in a moment. I just want to see if anybody else wants to put their answer in there. Okay, Beavis corrected himself. It's like 145.36. Okay, thanks for the follow, Heather. Appreciate it. Okay. Tillman, appreciate your honesty. Love it. From all the answers, I look like I need more tutorials. All right, well, hey, we're going to take a look. And that's perfectly fine. So Martin, say 117.36. Okay, my square is saying 4 and 136. Is this 9th grade? No, it's not. No. It's not actually. Okay, you have 1 and 1/9 for Donnie. Okay. Marvelly saying 3 and 7/8. Okay. Janae is saying 2.5. Okay. All right. Free ASVAB is saying 168.38. Okay. That's all right. You're ready to take a look? Well, your son chose that. Okay. All right. Well, let's check out what your son can do. All right. It's the beginning of the school year, so I expect that. All right. So Jess 36 got that. You're ready. All right. Okay. First things first. I'm the realist. No. What is my LCM? Let's break it on down. What is my LCM? Okay. So we're saying with the 36. Are we fine with that? Okay. So 36, 36, 36. All right. All right, so when we have our 36, so I'm coming down here, I have my 36, plus I have my 36. So I need to multiply this 4 by what to make it into a 36? Least common multiple. Yeah, that's what LCM stands for. Okay, I need to multiply this 4 by 9. Whatever I do in the denominator, I'm going to do in the numerator. So 9 times 11 gives us 99. So 8 times what will give me 36? Okay. I'm sorry, I said 8. I meant 18. So sorry. Okay. So that would give us our 2. Good. So whatever I do in the numerator, I have to do in the denominator. So what is 23 times 2? Ooh. So it's like 46. Okay, thank you. All right. So now we have a common denominator. So we're just going to rewrite our denominator, which is 36. And then we're going to add our 99 plus 46. So that gives us the 145. Because I was seeing 35s for a lot. Okay, so we see that 145 now. There we go. So, is there something that 145, and 36 have in common other than 1? Because sometimes we may be able to we might be able to just reduce it. But do they? John's saying no, and I agree with John. Okay? We don't have anything. But right now, this is very rude. It's very improper. Okay? So we have to do our division. So let me slide over here. So we have our 145 divided by 36. Okay? So with our 145 divided by 36, how many 36s can go into 145 without going over? Okay. Good. My squared. Good. Janae, good. A little too much, John. Just a little bit too much. Michael, good. Free, yes. Caribbean girl, yes. Jess, yes. General, yes. Beeve, yes. Love. Is it Loretta? Layretta? That's cool. I like the spelling of that. Okay, Sid, yes. So we can get 4 of those bad boys. Because 36 times 4, that gives me 144. If I subtract that, that means I have a 1 as my remainder. So my mixed number answer will be 4 whole and 136. So that will be my mixed. Okay? So, always want to make sure. Now, be careful who is doing that. Caribbean girl. Be careful with that decimal. Because sometimes they'll ask to give you the solution of the exact or the approximate. Okay? So, if anything, when I divide 145 divided by 36, I got 4.02. So that's not going to be 4.1 because the next digit after the 0 is a 2. So it's going to be approximately 4.0 if we were going to round to the 10th spot. Okay? All right. Okay. Can we say please? Show the full page at the bottom. That's cut off. To me, just sounds rather rude. Can we put a little please in there? Okay. It's not a stupid question. Not a problem. Thank you. Let's see if I can get in here. There you go. Okay, so it's not a stupid question, Doris. Please. No. It's never a stupid question. So how we get the least common multiple is we look at the multiplication table of each, the 4 and the 18. So I'm going to take it just below. Not a problem. So if I look at the 4 times table, so we have our 4, and this is going to be a while because it took us to 36. So we know we have our 4, we have our 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. Okay? So we're looking at the 4 times table, and you cannot see that. Okay, there we go. Then, if I look at the 18, so 18 times table, you have your 18, and your 2, which is your 36. So right there, the least common multiple in both times table was 36. Okay? Some people would just say, all right, I just multiplied the 4 and the 18 and I will get 72. True, 72 will work, but 72 is not the least, okay, common multiple. All right? Yep. So we can do it like this or just knowing your multiplication tables. Okay? So the reason why we're doing that is so we can get a common denominator. All right, you're welcome. See, it's not a stupid question. There's so many people that are saying, oh, okay, look at that. Where the 9 comes from, sure. So if you have a denominator 36 and the original was a 4, we need to change this 4 to a 36, but we need to do it through multiplication. So 4 times 9 gives me 36. And whatever I multiply in the denominator, I have to multiply in its numerator. So that's where 9 times 11 comes from. That's where the 99. Same thing with the 18. We need to change that 18 to a 36. So we know that 18 times 2 gives me 36. Whatever I multiply in the denominator, I also have to multiply in the numerator. All right. Good. Are we okay, Court? All right. Not a problem. Not a problem. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's do a quick math tap. We're going to do like a couple more. Trying to add a little bit of the subtraction. Okay. A little bit of addition we did this time with the subtraction. So we can do a math tap. If we can get to like 10, there's like, what, 277 of us in here? We should be able to get there rather quickly. Okay, so go ahead and do a little tap. And while you guys are tapping, and I'm setting this up, if you guys are like, oh, this was great, but I need to go, all of my videos, if you go here, okay, let me unzoom just a little bit. So go ahead, keep mad tapping. You should see all kinds of, oh, look at the fun stuff. They brought the fun emojis back. Cool. So if you go to YT and you type in either this or my name, okay, you will see a playlist that says TikTok Lives. If you click on that, you will see all of my TikTok Lives since February the 2nd. And if you can, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to like some stuff, you can like some stuff. You can send me a comment, okay? I'm usually there to, with all the comments and everything. Whoop. Okay, so if you have that, and if you can share it, that'll be great. So it's really geared towards like a lot of people that are either taking their GED, their ASVAB, their ACCUPLACER, or they're currently in an Algebra 1, Algebra 2 class. I do a little bit of Algebra 2. I do a little bit of trig in there. Sometimes I might throw some data analysis in there. So it's almost like every day is something different. It's not a consistent thing. It's not like yesterday we were doing linear equations and now today we're doing fractions. It's almost like sometimes I'll do a live and I see what a lot of people are struggling with and I said, screw it, whatever I planned, I'm just going to put it off to the side because this needs to be addressed. All right, so that's how generally a lot of the things goes. For pre-calculus, no, because pre-calculus, that's what I do for my tutoring. Okay, so if you need assistance with pre-calc, you can hire me as a tutor. And if you're wondering how you can do that, one, there is a button at the bottom that says Service Plus. If you click on that, you can actually send me a direct message and just tell me like what course you're going to take, what test you're about to take, when are you planning on taking it, and if you need tutoring service, just let me know, okay? Or if you want access to my course, I also put that in there as well. So if you want to do a intensive prep course, you can watch the videos. I have roughly 107 videos on there, and it's very much just like how I teach and tutor, very much step by step, okay? All right. Do I do other subjects? No, because you will surely fail. English? Nope. Okay. Well, thank you. Do I cover ratios and proportions? Yes. So if you go either here, I've already did a couple of videos on ratio and proportions. And if you want to do any of these videos, I cover it there as well. Okay. What? Lala? They both have the same denominator, so just subtract the numerators. Okay, so just subtract the numerators. No. Well, David, we might not have PBS anymore. So, yeah, there's that. There's that. Okay. Yes, you can use it for the Hess. You can do it for the T's or Hess. Like, they can separate it and use whatever letters of the alphabet they want to use. It's the same math concepts. It is the same exact math concepts. And that's what cracks me up. Because everyone's like, well, I don't know, and all that. Dude, it's the same math concepts. Yep. Math be mathin'. Alright, let's try this. Yeah, we could do that. Let's see what this means. I'm like doing jungle gyms so I can turn the light on. Alright. Okay. We're getting close, but I'll take it because we don't want to be here all day. Math by 5% on Friday, but I'm going to retake it in 45 days. Okay, good. Good. Now, does it give you an idea of like what was your strength and what was your weakness, or was this the actual test? Here you go, Joss. Okay, so we need a common denominator. That we do. What will be my LCM? Or should I give you a little more time? Okay, Lavia saying 24, General saying 24. Janae's giving me that. General 24, Carrie 24, Michael R 24, Morvelli 24. Okay, hey Olivia, welcome in. Okay, and if you're not sure where this is coming from, some people probably multiplied the 3 and the 8. Or if we look at the 3 times table, you have your 3, your 6, 9, 12. Like after you do this a while, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I got it. Oops, 21, 24. And then for the 8, it's 8, 16, 24. Okay. So that's where they're getting the 24s from. So now we need to change these denominators from 3 and 8 to 24s. So 3 times what gives me 24? Okay, so 3 times 8. And this is when I thought someone said they'd do a butterfly. When you multiply, and it's basically you're not, how should I say? If I just multiply the 8 and the 3, I can do the butterfly. To get my denominator, I can do the butterfly. But if it is not, like say the last one that we did, it's really tough to do the butterfly. Because if you didn't use 4 and 18, it's really tough for you to do the butterfly because obviously I didn't multiply this by 4. I did it by 2. Okay? So if you multiply them to get your LCM, that's when you can do the butterfly. That means the denominator of this is going to be multiplying this ratio, and the denominator of this ratio is going to multiply this ratio. So now you have 8 times 2, that gives me 16. And 3 times 3, that gives us 9. Now that we have a common denominator, just like what everyone is saying, which I am so proud of you guys, you're keeping your 24, and then your 16 and 9, that's where you got your 7 from. Okay. TP method. Every time I think of TP, it's just not a good thing. I don't know why. And plus, I don't know what the TP method is. They just put so many names with so many things, and you're just like, oh, cross multiply. And they're like, but it's a TP. I'm like, yeah. It's cross multiply. So, but they do things to help their students to remember. You know? And I love that. Dolly Parton. John, you okay? What days and times do I come on? Oh, thanks, Michael. Usually I'm here. What is today? Today is Monday, and having a holiday messes me up big time. Like all day. It's just been a mess. But I'm usually here at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm usually here at 7 p.m. But now that school has opened, my schedule may get a little clunky. So it's always like today, I normally would have said, okay, I'm going to do this at 9:30. Yeah, why would I wait several hours when I can just do it right now? So, but I'm here. Okay. Some are very tricky. Yes, that's true. Some of them are very tricky. Why do we put the numbers over themselves and then multiply? What do you mean? Why do we put the numbers over themselves and then multiply? I'm trying to understand what's going on. Oh, the 8 and the 3? Well, to change this 3 to a 24, I need to multiply by 8. And whatever I do in the denominator, I do in the numerator. To change this 8 to a 24, I have to multiply by 3. Whatever I multiply in the denominator, I have to multiply in the numerator. Okay. Awesome. All right, not a problem. All right, so let's flip slate script. All right, let's try this. And we could probably do it together if you want to. Is that Pog? Did I see Pog? Let me see. Hey, Big Al. How are you? I haven't seen Pog in forever. Probably just zooming in. Probably going somewhere that has math. All right. So, are we calculating or are we in need of assistance? Okay, so Jess is saying 2 2/3. Okay, general is saying 8/3. So we have the mixed number and we have the improper. Okay, so we have I don't know. Okay, yep, I got you, General. Michael's saying 2 2/3. Angel's saying 7/3. Okay, and if you're not sure, remember question marks work. They work as well. Ooh, do we? Do we make the mixed number as an improper fraction? Okay, so we got Mickey with 2 2/3, Big Al with 3 2/3. Yes, thank you for your question. Hey, thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Carmela. All right, you forgot. That's okay. I don't know what to do first. That's all right. Good. We're going to go over it in a moment. So we got John with 7/3. Okay, definitely want to go over. Okay. Janae's saying 2 1/3. Big Al saying 2 2/3. All right. So let's take a gander. All right. So you think 2 2/3 changes to 7/3? All right. Well, let's see. All right. Well, thank you for the 10K. First, I forgot who asked me it. Yes. Let's change this. Yeah, it was you. Okay. Let's change this mixed number to an improper fraction. So if you don't recall, what we do is we multiply the denominator with the whole number. So 3 times 2, that gives me 6. And then we add that 6 to the 1. So that's how we get our 7/3. Yes. Okay, so that's how we get our 7/3. I'm going to bring down our minus sign. But now we have this whole number of 5. We need to change that whole number of 5 to a fraction. And if I put it over 1, it's not going to devalue the 5, but it's going to help us to make it into a fraction. So here's the thing. We have to have a common denominator, which is a 3. So how do I change that 1 to a 3? We multiply it by 3. And whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So 3 times 5, we got our 15. All right, we're okay. Good, I'm seeing some answers. So now we have our 15/3 minus our 7/3. So they have a common denominator, which is awesome. But we're going to subtract the numerators. So that will give us our 8. Okay. So since it's an improper fraction, again, take a look at your answer choices. If you see an 8/3, that's your answer. Click it, move on. That's it. Okay. But if you start seeing mixed numbers, that's when you are having the clue or the cue of your division. So it's 8 divided by 3. How many 3s can go into 8 without going over? 2 of those. So that'll give me my 6. So 8 minus 6, that gives me my 2. And that 2 is my remainder. So it's going to be 2 2/3. Okay. So either this is your answer or that. Okay. How are we feeling now? Okay. It's a particular reason why we added 6 plus 1. Because every time you do a mixed number to an improper fraction, you multiply, take that answer, and add the numerator. That's always going to be the process. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of goods. Good. Smarter by day. Yes. Okay. So anytime, let me take it over here for a second. So if I had 5 and, 3/5. Okay, that's a mixed number. If I want to change it into an improper fraction, I multiply the 5 times 5, which gives me 25. Add the 3 to the 25, gives me 28. Okay. All right, so you have 28/5. Yes, thank you. Okay, so that's how you go from a mixed number to improper fraction. If you ever want to go from an improper fraction to a mixed number, you're dividing, and you're not putting any decimals or zeros. Okay, we're keeping it as fraction tone. All right, not a problem. All right, so let's try 2 more. And then we are done for today. So 1/8 minus 3/4. Oops. I guess. I don't. There's so many different curriculums in so many different ways. I don't know. How about with square root in there? What? Try again? Excuse me, Jess? I beg you. Oh, like for example, throw a square root in there? Yeah, I would, but not tonight. I would. For a second there, I was like, what am I saying? What's happening? All right, so Janae is saying 3/8. Big Al's saying 3/8. Okay. Carrie's saying 3/8. For a second now, I'm confused. Nope, you're not confused. Relax. You're starting to freak out. No need to freak out. Think about what we did for the first one. Okay? What was the first thing we had to do? Okay, Mountain saying 3/8. Okay, thank you, John. All right, so Saf, look what John just did for you. He changed that mixed number to improper. Okay, you got the 3/8. Good. Hello, good. Okay, Anna's saying the 3/8 at the end. Ravelli's saying 3/8 at the end. I think I skipped you, I'm so sorry. Okay. So, let's take a look. Let's take a look. There you go. Now make sure you get the like. Gotta have a common denominator. All right. So, change this mixed number into an improper fraction. So you go 8 times 1 That gives you 8. Plus the 1 at the top gives us a 9. So we're going to have 9 over 8. I'm going to bring down the minus 3/4. So now we need our LCM. And we've already done 8 and 4. So we know that the least common multiple is going to be 8. So it's like, what number do they both have, the lowest number that both of them have in common for both of their multiplication tables? So this 9/8, I don't have to do anything because it already has an 8 as a denominator. But this 4, I need to multiply it so I can get an 8 in the denominator. So we got to multiply that 4 with a 2. Four times 2 gives me 8. Whatever I multiply in the denominator, I have to multiply in the numerator. So 3 times 2 gives us 6. Okay. So now that we have our common denominator, we just rewrite the denominator. Okay, so it's not going to be 0. Okay, we just rewrite the denominator, but we are doing the subtraction in the numerator. So 9 minus 6, that's where the 3/8 is coming from. And it's a proper fraction because my numerator is smaller than my denominator. Yup, the answer. Okay, how are we feeling? Okay, one more, then out the door I go. They're like, no. I'm like, yes. All right, good. Everyone's looking good. No, I was late. It's all right. Well, thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate it. Can we do calculus? No. I will shut that down in a heartbeat. All right, so we have 17 minus 4 5/9. This will be our last one. Why? Because that's why I don't want to do on my platform. That's why. Advanced algebra? Yes, Jess. I'm going to do multiplying and dividing in the next one. That'll be tomorrow night. And tomorrow night will definitely be 9:30 unless I do it earlier in the afternoon. I mean, later in the afternoon. Sorry, early in the evening. So Deanne's saying 12 4/9. John is saying 9 times 4 plus 5. Yep, keep going. Okay, Big Al saying 12 4/9. Is that Lego? Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in a minute. I think they're the same person I saw early on in my lovely, illustrious TikTok career with the 41/9. Okay, Jess is saying 112/9. Yep, you too, I know. Definitely, Michael. Definitely get the award. So you got your 12 4/9? Yes. So you get the 9 times 4 plus 5 part. Okay, you got the answer. And then you're stuck on what's next. Okay. I got Thursday. Is Thursday the answer? I thought it would be Wednesday. Wouldn't it be Wednesday? You're so close. All right. So let's take a look. We have, you're right, 9 times 4. Okay, so that'll give you your 36. And then your 36 plus 5, that'll give us our 41. Okay, so is that what you got? Oops. Okay, and that's where you got stuck. All right, so now the 17, that's a whole number. We need to turn this into a fraction. But we need a common denominator. 1 and 9. The least common multiple of 1 and 9 is 9. So in order for me to change this 1 to a 9, I got to multiply it by 9. Okay, whatever I multiply in the denominator by 9, I have to multiply the numerator by 9. So what's 17 times 9? Okay, all right, take it and run with it. Because I'm going to stop right here for a moment just so you can finish it. I don't know. Okay. So we got our 153. Okay. All right. Okay, that's what you did. Good. So now what should we do next? So how did Bella get 112 over 9? How did she get that? She subtract. There we go. Good. She subtract. There it is. So we have a common denominator. That denominator is 9. So we're going to subtract 153 minus 41. That's where the 112 came from. Okay. All right. This is a little top heavy. Okay, this is a little top heavy. Then we're trying to turn it into a mixed number. Exactly. Okay. So I'm going to take it down here. So we have our 112 divided by 9. So how many 9s can go into, maybe not 112, but how many 9s can go into 11? There's 1. 11 minus 9, that's 2. Bring down the other 2. So we're talking about 22 here. So how many 9s can go into 22 without going over? Okay, good. And then 22 minus 18. Good. So that means our answer, we got our whole number, which is the 12. We have our remainder, which is the 4. And And then we have our divisor, which is 9. So that's how they got 12 and 4/9. Okay. How do we feel? Do we feel slightly or better empowered? Okay. So you got this one, but you didn't get the other one? Okay, good, Rosetta. Good. Good. Nice. Super good. All right, way better empowered. Awesome. Slide it. I'll take that. Got it. Good. Do more long division practice. I'll see if I can. Okay. Good, Tillman. Big Al. Good. KB, thanks. Hey, oh, there goes Van. Thank you, Van. Oh, it's you and Michael. Good gracious. Getting it again. I forgot. Not a problem. I messed up, but it was starting to get more. Awesome. I will take that. Definitely take that. KB, I'm sorry. Thanks. Okay. We're not going to try one more. I am done. I've had a trying day. Okay. Let you know after tomorrow. Okay. What's happening? Hey, Lynette. I'm about to come towards you. Okay. We mathed out. Yes, we are mathed out because I was helping with PSAT. But here is my shameless plug. Not even shameless, because you know what? This is how I stay on TikTok, because I have to sell my wares. All right. So for the notebook, if you like the notebook, it gives you a section for the formula, effects section for the steps, and also a place for you to do work on one side and as well as the other side. And what I do is I just basically put all of my stuff inside, keep it nice and neat and organized. So if I ever looking for a formula, boom, I can just come right into that formula section. All right, this is what I created for my students because I got really sick and tired of them. I'm saying, where's your notes? Let's take a look at your notes. And they whip out a packet and I'm like, okay, what does the note say? And they're like, I don't know. Does that sound familiar? So I decided to put a lot of my resources all in one notebook, a place for them to actually do their notes, and then a resource section in the back. So here's a factors chart. So if you're trying to break down radicals, you're trying to find the factors for polynomials, you're trying to find your LCMs, your GCFs, this can help you out. And I go not only from 1 to 100, but 1 to 200. Okay, because you're dealing with larger numbers when you're getting into the algebra scheme. Then all the words that are mostly used for most word problems, as well as, this is the newer version, where you have your squares and your cubes, as well as the order of operation, properties of exponents, which we actually did yesterday or last night's live. Then we have our linear and our quadratic equations. We have inequalities, which way goes which direction and how to name it. Okay, interval notation, which you guys will definitely see in Algebra 1. Rules of integers. And we're looking at all of those lovely rules. Your decimal operations. What are those key things? Do not forget about that. And hey, take a look. Fraction operations that we were just doing today. Place chart. How to do the conversion of percent and so forth. The measures of central tendencies, the distance, speed, and time. A lot of people, especially GED and ASVAB, you need to remember this lovely triangle, okay? So if you're looking for speed, boom, is your distance divided by time. If you're looking for time, boom, cover up the T is your distance and your speed, okay? So measures of central tendencies is the 3 M's. The range is variation. I will fight that to the death, okay? All right, and then you have your arithmetic and geometric sequence, as well as system of equations, system of inequalities, how to graph a linear inequality. Then we have Pythagorean theorem, a little bit of trig, volume, surface area, all those lovely formulas, okay? area, perimeter, unless you're talking about a circle, circumference. And lastly, the conversion chart, especially for all of my nurses. Yes, we need to get those down. You definitely need to figure out, especially this one right here. Let's see if I can put it up to anything with the liquids. Yeah, especially liters and milliliters. You definitely need to know the difference. We're trying not to kill people. Thank you. Love you. All right. It does take a lot. So, and you're lucky for the month, this month, all of my notebooks are on sale for $10.29. And you're probably saying, oh, Audrey, that's not that cheap. Well, it is when it was originally $22 in some sense. Yeah. So, but the only thing is you can't get this on the A. You know, the brown box with the smile on it. You can't get it there. You can only get it here at my Books Buy. Okay? So, not only do I have these notebooks, which, for all my lefties out there, I got you. You can also have your own math notebook opening to the left. Okay? You get the same exact information just like everyone else, but now no more creasing on your hands when you're trying to write with the left hand. Okay? Even when you come over here, it's not as strenuous as trying to find with the left hand on the other side. Okay? So, got you right there. Okay? So this one and the first one that I showed you was for pre-algebra to algebra 1. There is another one for algebra 2 and pre-calculus. So that's the one that has the unit circle in there. It has a little bit more with the sine and cosine. I really wanted to, what was different about these pages, I really wanted to get it rather close to what exactly you're going to see in these courses. Okay? So with that, now, if you are just like, hey, I just want to get a resource book, and I'm like, all right, not a problem. Here's another thing, Audrey's Notes. Audrey's Notes is a copy of all of my notes, okay? All of my notes that I've done since February 2nd. So I will actually give you a color copy. You know how color is expensive, but here we are, okay? This is a copy of all my notes that I have generally inside of these math notebooks. As you can see, this is book 6. All right, so I have books 1 through 5 ready for sale. So what happens on the bottom of each of the section, you can see a QR code. It takes you directly to my YT channel and directly to the live that I did, say dividing with 1 or 2 digits. Okay, we did that April 29th, 2025. All you have to do is scan this and it'll take you directly to the live. You can fast forward, you can rewind, you can follow along. It's almost like having your own private tutor. It's crazy. Remember Crazy Eddie back in the day? It's crazy. So, you know, all of my notes. And sometimes people say, oh, that's why you write so neat. No, I just write neat. Okay? And there's no rhyme or reason to it. So if you're looking for something to give you a flow, this is not the resource for you. If so, you definitely want to take part in all of my self-paced courses that I have. And you can go there to take you directly to, if you want to do GED, ASVAB, T's, maybe even foundational algebra or algebra. And then you have the ACCUPLACER. So anything to kind of give you that resource, just the math components, okay? So you can definitely go here in order to get that. And the same thing, you can come here and fill out the contact form if you ever want to get private tutoring. Now, please be serious about this. If you want to talk to me more about like what should I do, or I have a test coming up, Audrey, and I just want a refresher, that's one thing. You don't want to do a whole entire course. That doesn't make any sense. So there is a button that says Service Plus. If you click on that, it will send me a direct message, and then I can answer it as soon as they come, and then we'll probably set up like a quick little meet and greet or a small little chat to figure out what will be your best option. All right. So even if you have kids that are younger, I usually go from 7th grade all the way up to adults. If you have younger students, I have friends that are tutors that if I get to know you and your child and what exactly you need, I could probably lead you into the right direction. Okay. So I do that. Now, people that are doing nursing, make sure you are also following a blessed RN. She is good at the dosage calculations. So definitely follow her. I'll put her name in the chat. If you guys have younger students that want to do an introduction of math and do it in a fun and effective way, you can follow my friend Lynette, Learning with Lynette. Let me see if I can put it all in the chat. Nursing. Oh. Too many F's. There. Oh, really? 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 Okay. So if you guys want to learn abacus, okay, you want to do some learning with the abacus, make sure you follow my friend Learning with Nanette. She is always on. Like, seriously. I would be like, okay, let me see what's on TikTok. She's on. It's like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning at one time. Cray. But that's what you can do. So if anything, I have those resources. Like I said, all of my books are going to be $10.29. I write rather large because of me coming here on the live so you can see things a lot clearer. You might be able to need like maybe 1 or 2 of these. Now remember, after the month of September, the price is going right the smack back up, okay? And then also, I think that's it. I think that's all I have. Yes. Okay. So again, if you want to purchase the books, you go here. Okay. Make a nice little screenshot. Maybe move this out of the way so you guys can see it so much clearer. Okay. All right. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I'm not one of those people I'm like, yeah, I'm going to celebrate every day my birthday. No, I was born once. That's all the world needs. But might as well see if I can get some people to benefit from it as well. And my courses, usually the course is normally $400, and that's down to $197. Okay. And you have access to it, like lifetime access. Okay. All right. And do you recommend we purchase for those who are studying the ASVAB? If you're studying the ASVAB, hey, thanks, Jordan Square. If you're studying the ASVAB, I will purchase, and you just want the notebook and you want the resources of that notebook, I would purchase this one. Okay, the one with the pink and yellows. Okay, that would be the best thing. But if you're doing the ASVAB and you really want to know breakdown, I would do the course. But if you just want the resource, you can get the math notebook. Okay, no problem. To buy all the notes, or maybe just 2 books. Yeah, I would just buy, books wise, I would just buy this one. Like, Audrey's Notes is fun to have, but right now you're trying, like, Audrey's Notes, I would say, is more for like homeschool. Is more for like teachers, like anyone that wants to do a resource that you just have a kid that sits in the back and do it, because this is not very consistent. And I'm currently working on a workbook. Of course, that's not going to help you right now, but yeah, I'm still working on the structure of that workbook. So, and that those workbooks will help you guys out tremendously, because a lot of people love the Audrey's Notes, but they wish it was a little more cohesive. And I'm like, dude, I am not organizing all that. That's cray. Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to lie. Okay. So the GED, yes. So if you just want like the resources, I would get this one. This works anything that's going to be Algebra 1 related, that is going to be good for the GED. It's going to be good for the ASVAT. It's going to be good for the ACCUPLACER. But some of the ACCUPLACER, you might have to get this one and the other resource. Okay. I had to empty my Amazon cart and wanted to buy one for that test as well as my taxes. Okay. Yeah, so it's a lot cheaper now for me. About TSI. TSI, what's TSI for? Praxis. Praxis, anything with Algebra 1. If anything, if you want for the Praxis to refresh all of those Algebra 1 components, plus the data analysis, a little bit of the geometry, I would go for the foundational algebra course, to be honest with you. Because when you watch the videos, my videos are like 20 minutes long. I know. Everyone's like, oh my God, that's a lot. I'm like, yeah, but here's my thing. You can pause it. You can rewind it. It gives you an exit ticket, which leads you into the next course or to the next video. And then it gives you time to practice. It gives you time to, mentor. And then here's the thing. If you're paying for the course and you just want to, like, if I get enough people, enough interest, I could do, like, at least once, I could open up, like, a Q&A time, like a question and answer. And I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be working, but that's something if there is a good amount of interest about it, I might make that happen. Okay. And I might actually do it here on TikTok and make it be like almost like a small donated event, like a paid event. Like literally when I say paid, it's not more than $10. Okay. Because you're already invested so much in the course. Like, why are you paying my usual tutoring cost? That's a little too much. Okay. So which book for Praxis? ACCUPLACER is usually what people take, say at the community college level, to see what math class they should enter into. So you either have the intermediate algebra classes, which you don't get accreditation for. It just helps build you up for college algebra, or you can go right into college algebra. So it gives you like a prep. So I've seen a couple people take it, and they actually scored right into college algebra, which now they're taking a class that they're paying for, but it's accredited, So whereas the other classes, it's not accredited, but you're paying money for it, just like a regular class. How long does it take to come in the book? It should be a week. Yep, it takes a week. Which book? Praxis, which book? So if you are using... So here's my thing. Are you currently taking a course for the Praxis? JK. Are you currently taking a course for the Praxis? J-Cone. Praxis 5733. Because if you're not already taking a course for the Praxis, I would brush up on the foundational piece. Okay? I would brush up on the foundational piece. All right. Ooh, some comments. We're filtered. We haven't had a filter comment in a couple of days. What are you guys saying? So nasty. Tonight, hopefully take. Okay. So also remember, even if you just need to tweak, okay? When I say tweak, I don't mean that type of tweaking. But if you need to like go over the ASVAB, like if you know you're about to take it in like a couple of weeks, let's get a session in. I feel that we need to get a session in. That's just me. Because sometimes I feel that with the ASVAB, if you are taking the ASVAB, the best book out there is ASVAB for Dummies. I know the name is terrible, but the structure of it is very similar, especially the math questions is very similar. And I'm not a paid affiliate, so I don't know how to do any of that. But it's like the structure of it, I heard, is very similar to how the test is, the actual test is. So if you are looking around at some ASVAB books, that's the best one. And get the most recent one. ASVAB for Dummies. Okay? Okay, good. Need to schedule a session? Yeah, definitely meet up. If you want, send me a message either through Service Plus. And if you're not doing anything during the day, that we can definitely meet up and let's get a session in. But definitely message me, okay? Don't let it just slide. Like, oh, I'll get her tomorrow. No. Like, as soon as we're done here, just go ahead and message me, okay? All right. Okay. Any other questions? And if you have a child that's about to take the PSATs, if they're juniors especially, because junior year PSAT, a lot of people don't talk about it. That's the one that colleges actually look at to see how much scholarship money they can offer you. I don't know. I like free money. Right? So if anything, I am starting on Wednesday. Let me take this off. So on Wednesday, I'm doing like a PSAT for 11th graders. So I'm just going over, just like how I was doing today, basically this weekend, just going over some PSAT stuff and just really hitting on some of those concepts. And of course, I have some other ones that are just a little bit strenuous, a little bit thought-provoking. But I definitely have like 10 spots left. My max is 2, so I have a solid 2, but I have like 4 people that are like, yeah, I want to do it. But until they really go forward, those slots are available. Okay? Definitely need 6 just to keep it going. All right? So if you're thinking about it, or if you know anybody that wants to do this, the PSAT is usually in October, and it's usually held inside of your schools. So, but if you want to get a jump ahead, we can get ourselves started. Awesome. Good. All right, there you go. All right. So, JK, did you hear what I said earlier? Not sure. Okay. Because if it's the first, like, are you currently working on something? Because if you're not currently working on something, no? Okay. No apologies necessary. Okay. So if you are currently taking a class, doing some things, we can actually tweak and do some stuff as a tutoring session. But if you're not, so you're working on the praxis just in a book by yourself, like you're not in a course or a class. That's what I just need to clarify. Because if you are in a course and a class, we can just do some tweaking. But if you're just teaching yourself, I think the self-paced course with the foundational algebra part, that will be helpful. Okay, you're in the class through that. Thank you. All right. So if anything, maybe tutoring sessions on occasions as you're going through your course, just to clarify the areas that you're not too sure on, we can definitely do that. Okay, so that will be your best option. Okay. Mr. Ezra. All right. Okay. Any other questions? So tomorrow we're going to be at 9:30. It might be earlier, but we're going to shoot for 9:30. And what we're going to be working on is multiplying and dividing fractions. Okay. I was just looking at something else. Okay, multiplying and dividing fractions. So that's what we're going to be taking on from there. So if you have any questions whatsoever, it doesn't matter, whatever the question is, You can either email me by using the Service Plus button at the bottom of your screen, or you can basically just send me a DM and just ask your question. Please don't just DM me hi, or just say, oh yeah, I need tutoring. Tutoring costs money, okay? Tutoring's not free. But at the same time, I feel like I tried to do something reasonable away from what my normal is. I do a discount for TikTok, okay? So if that's the case, that's the case. Yep, 9:30 p.m. Yes, Eastern Standard Time. Yep, 9:30 p.m. And if I do decide to go early, I promise I will call. I will message. But I think it is going to be that way because I do have someone at 8:30. Okay? All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And again, as I keep saying, if you need assistance, please ask it. And if it's not me, like, hey, I need something for my kid who's like 4th grade or 4 years old. Okay, that's not me. But I do know tutors who are doing it, and they're really amazing. So I try not to hang out with non-amazing people. I guess that's one way of putting it. And also, if you want to find all of my just give me some time, because sometimes TikTok takes forever for me to download so I can upload it onto my YT. So if anything, if you go here to ACG, then you just do these 5 things, and we can take it from there. So all of my TikTok replays are there. Alrighty? All right. Well, thank you so much. Hey, BB. Just BB. How have you been? I haven't seen you in a minute. All right. And we're just about to sign off. All right, everyone. Have an amazing night. Be safe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Okay? You're cool? Awesome. All right, everyone. Take care. Continue to be awesome. You're amazing people. Thank you so much. And don't scroll too late. All right. Take care. Bye now.